Howdy folks, how we going? Welcome to the kitchen. Latest version of, the latest instalment of Brew Food. And just for something a little bit different, there's actually no beer involved in this, in today's food. Yeah, look, say it if you want, but here we are. Today's video has come about because I was given a little bit of a push by one of the supporters of the channel recently. He was commenting that there hadn't been a Brew Food video for a while, and I hadn't really had anything specifically in plan, like that was running around in my brain to do on Brew Food. What I'm doing today is something I've wanted to do, and I've tossed up whether to do it or not. I said because it hasn't got beer in it, and it's not really anything you're gonna necessarily. It's not really a food you might sit down and have a beer with. But I will say this: quite often the food I sit down and have before I had some beers on a Friday. Can be other times for that matter. But right now it's Friday afternoon. We're setting the kitchen up, getting ready for putting a brew on for extravaganza. So I thought, why the heck not? I've got to make this awesome lunch anyway. Let's do this. So what I'm doing today is Little John's slightly fancier than normal ham, cheese, tomato toasted sandwich. Yeah, sounds pretty basic, I know. But let me tell you, couple of little tiny changes that we're going to make to the old humble HCMT. Going to take it to another level. This is something I enjoy not too often. I don't have enough of them because they're not exactly the healthiest thing for you, and I know that doesn't always stop me. But anyway, so let's get into it. Got a couple of pans over here on the stove warming up, coming up to just a medium temperature. Taste the sandwiches. This is probably the most primitive way you can do a toasted sandwich. One side of the time in the fry pan, but for these sandwiches it works, I think it works the best. Second option I have is, we don't have a sandwich press as such. We've got a old George Foreman grill which has got the press lid on it. That doesn't work too bad at a squeeze. I'll explain a little bit later why I don't particularly like that. And the old actual sandwich maker, the Jackal makers, are a definite dead set no-no for these sandwiches. It's typical ham, cheese, tomato. I'd have no problem whacking them in the old sandwich maker, but not this version, and you'll see why. But anyway, let's have a look at a couple of things we're going to need. Need some bread, white thick sliced, the old toasty loaf. You need 2 slices per sandwich, so you need 4 slices of toast for 2 sandwiches. I'm making 2, and I'm going to make the basic, and I'm going to do a slightly dressed up one. Because again, it's a little job. What's the point if we're not doing a split batch? Got myself a little bit of ham. This is just some freshly carved leg ham I got from the local IGA. You can use any ham you want to get the best stuff you can, and realistically for this sandwich, fresh carved leg ham is the best. And quite often you'll find if you go to the butcher and you buy your carved leg ham straight out of the counter or from a good deli, it's going to be cheaper than the shit they're going to try and sell you at Woolworths anyway. Ham. Hang on, let's do it in order. Cheese. Creamy blue is the cheese you want for this fella. Now, I've got this is a Castello, this is just from Woolies. I prefer to use, if I can get it, Thomas Duck's Creamy Blue. Thomas Duck's is from England. Woolworths stock their cheeses. Ours, up until about 12 months ago, stopped the creamy blue, they stopped having it, so now I've got to try and track it down when I go out of town. But there's plenty of options for the creamy blue. Castillo is a nice one. King Island is always a win. I just generally refuse to pay the amount of money that King Island want. It's a bit of fucking wankery, just because of their remote location. The cheese, realistically, is not that much. Well, it's not any fucking better than anywhere else. It's just fucking higher price because there's a story. But anyway, I like the Thomas Duck because it's a thicker. It's about yay thick, and it's a slightly denser cheese. It's not quite as soft as some of the others, and I prefer that in this. But anything's going to work, and you'll see the reason I like the denser stuff is because this is quite soft, and it's difficult to get nice slices, and that's sort of what you want. Don't worry if you break them up a little bit. And I said the Thomas Ducks does hold together a lot better. But and it's easy to put it together if you've got some nice, more solid sort of pieces. But we'll get by. We will get by. Again, if you're gonna have a crack at this, play around with whatever cheeses you like, whatever you can come across, and see what tickles your fancy. Like I said, the Castillo is probably a bit more on the creamy side, not quite as bitey and potent as the King Island or even that Thomas Ducks, other brands. They all work. Tomato. Get yourself a nice firm tomato, firmest you can get, for two reasons. One, firmer tomatoes are far easier to slice, and they don't go mushy and sloshy in your sandwich. And again, this is going to be how thick? Well, it's going to be a personal preference. It's going to come down to exactly how you want it. I cut mine reasonably thin. I'm not a massive tomato fan, so I don't want it bloody swimming in tomato. If you want to cut yourself nice big wedges, go ahead. Okay, while we're at it, give yourself a little bit of the old Spanish onion. Red onion they call it now. We can't call it Spanish onion anymore for some bloody reason. I still do. That's how I was bloody brought up. But anyway, that's not for our standard sandwich, that's for our dressed up version. Just a couple of rings. Little John's a fan of the onion. I put onion on bloody anything. I put onion on top of onion if I got a chance. Anyway, get these little middle bits out. We'll have to make onion rings one day. I've always wanted to. I've never made my own. I really should. So I'd really like to make some really big, thick ass ones. Alright, anyway, that's our core ingredients. Other things I do have is a bit of mayonnaise. We run the bloody fat-free one around here. Again, trying to be fucking healthy. Ideally, get yourself a good mayo. It does taste a lot better. And some mild English mustard. Again, mustard wise, use whatever mustard you like. The mild I think works really good on these singers because it's got just a nice little bit of pungency. And if you go something soft, like an American yellow, even an Australian or a Dijon, you're going to lose it in this sandwich. Anyway, let's butter up 2 slices of bread, butter, margarine, whatever rocks your boat. Now try not to squash the fuck out of the bread while you do it. And there's our base. So from there, we're going to put on our extras over here. This is only the dressed up version that's getting the mustard and the mayo. And I'll just put them on together. Yeah, a good decent slather. If you're going to have it, you want to taste it. That's it. Alright, we slap on our ham. Now again, you can slap this ham on as thick or as thin as you like, depending on your own preferences or what you got. But give it a nice layer. And this is why I'm saying you can't really do, well, you don't want to do this in the sandwich, in the old sandwich maker, because your ham's going to get pretty thick and it doesn't compact too much. You're going to have trouble getting your sandwich actually closed in a normal sandwich maker. Righto. Can't have ham, cheese, tomato with tomato. Oh, sorry, without tomato. So slap him on. And again, as much or as little as you want. I like just enough to give the ham a good covering. And I've forgotten one vital ingredient. The oldie black pepper. You don't need black pepper. This is something I just, ever since I was a kid, I was always, my pop always had pepper on his tomato. And I know it's just something that stuck with me my whole life. I can't make a sandwich with tomato on it without putting pepper on it. And normally I put salt on it, but I've cut the salt out of the diet. And there's a lot of salt in this without, you don't need anything extra. Yeah. So get yourself some bloody good crack of the old black pepper. Yeah. I'm going to throw a bit of the old Spanish onion over this way. Now again, Spanish onion, as much as it's not described as a ham, cheese, tomato and onion sandwich, I think should be standard on a ham, cheese and tomato. Tomato, onion go hand in hand. It's almost a sin not to put them together. If you're going to use one, you probably really should use the other, but let's just keep it as we are. Now I'll get our cheese. And like I said, because this is a bit gooey and sticky, you've got to work with it the best you can. And like I said, why I like the Thomas Ducks, because it is a little bit less creamy, and you can sort of slice it a bit easier and get it on there. But it's all good. You get her on there. Yeah. Don't be fucking shy. Don't be shy with your cream, with that creamy blue. It's good shit. Alright. It makes for good finger licking. They're writing about KFC and finger licking good, all that bullshit. No. Righto. Let's get our top layer of bread, give him a butter up as well. Same as before, try not to bloody squash the crap out of it. Slap him on. And get these into the pan. In she goes. You can hear there's a nice little bit of sizzle there. You want them ham side down first, so it starts to heat through and starts to warm that bloody cheese up before we flip it over. Now we just let them toast. So while that's going on, we can be good husbands / boyfriends, sons, depending on what your what your living arrangement is, and we can do a quick tidy up. Do the good thing. Put lids on shit. Put shit away. Alright, we just want to cook these till they're nice and tasty, or however, whatever level you like particularly. Not going to tell you what level of toasting you should have your sandwich. I wouldn't hazard to be so rude. Nearly there. Now we're using the quality time-honoured method of using the butter knife and fingers to flip the sandwich. If you want to get all wanky and use a fucking spatula, go for your life. Again, part of that here, keeping the place tidy and whatnot, why fucking dirty a spatula when we've got a fucking knife ready going. A little bit in, flip him over. Probably could have gone a little bit longer, but that's alright. See, that one's a little bit browner. That pan's a bit warmer. It's all good. Right about now would have been a good time to get a fucking beer, but it's all good. I'll get these on. Have a quick beer before I do this extravaganza brew, which is going to be the Brick Road Brewing, the new kits that are available, made by Muntons in England. Sort of hitting our stores in recent weeks. You get a little bit of a blurb. So anyway, let's let these finish. A little bit of smoke happening there. So that's our the extra special version. That you would have paid probably an extra $4 for had you come to Little John's Cafe and got it over the standard ham, cheese, tomato. There we are. We're going to call them done. So let's flip them over so our hands back on the bottom, because that's going to make presentation just a little bit better. Make sure our stove is off. Righto. So there they be, done. Two golden bits of loveliness. Now that's it's a pretty fine looking toasted sandwich there, if I do say so myself. Let's have a look at that. Beautiful. That cheese just nice and melted beautifully and soft. Let's have a go at it. That's good. The extra salt and the earthiness and the nuttiness that comes from that creamy blue just really sets it off. Go over here. That onion, the mayo and the mustard. Just fucking yummy. You're not getting that at the local fucking cafe, I'll tell you. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's plate that up all nice like. There you have ham, cheese, tomato with the Little John twist. Brew Food number, fuck it, doesn't matter. Give them a crack. Next time you're thinking of, something easy for lunch that's just a little bit more fancy than bloody normal, go there. Just up your ingredients. It's well worth it. Anyway, comments, questions down the bottom as always. Big shout out Little John's Patreons. Thumbs up guys, thanks for the support. No Patreon dollars was spent in the making of this sandwich. This is all Little John's household funds. If you're interested in Patreon, there's a link down the bottom. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you're not, again, hit the button down there, ring the bell. That way you get notified when Little John's eating something you get to watch. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Anyway, for now, I'm going to go and pour myself a beer, sit down and eat this, continue on with my Friday afternoon. Cheers guys.